PlayStation is getting ready to launch a brand new subscription service, and head of Xbox Phil Spencer says it's inevitable that it will copy Game Pass 100%. There's a lot here to talk about, so let's get into it. What is going on, everybody? This is Randall Thor 19, the man with the million, back again with another video. I hope everybody is having an incredible day, and if you guys can do me a huge favor, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and please share this out on social media. It really helps the video. I really appreciate it, and thank you guys for all the continued support. It certainly seems like the subscription wars are about to heat up. We know Xbox is running with Game Pass, the service that most people would call the best deal in all of gaming. They had an incredible 2021, launching games day one of the service like Outriders, MLB The Show 21, Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5, Psychonauts 2, Microsoft Flight Simulator, just to name a few. And the last time we got reports on just how many people were subscribed to the service, it was 18 million back in January of 2021. Now, hopefully we get numbers later this month. Will it have hit 30 million? We have to find out. But Microsoft is all about Xbox Game Pass these days, and not about Xbox Live Gold. Now, over on the PlayStation side, you have PlayStation Plus, which is doing pretty damn well. I think it's over 45 million subscribers, although just like with Xbox Live Gold, I think the vast majority of people subscribe for those multiplayer offerings, even though sometimes the monthly free games happen to be pretty good. Sometimes they aren't. It's just kind of the way they are with that service. And of course, Sony also has PlayStation Now, which is their streaming download service, which is supposed to compete with Game Pass, but really doesn't. Sony never really talks about PlayStation Now, however, because, well, let's just face it, it's an abject failure. It's been around since 2013, and it really hasn't gained any traction, mostly because it's filled with back-and-pack games from the PS3 and PS2 era that nobody actually wants to play today. But that's all about to change, because PlayStation is getting ready to launch a brand new subscription service, and we have quotes here from Phil Spencer talking about this competitor from PlayStation and how he feels it's absolutely inevitable that PlayStation is going to launch the big games day one into that service at some point in the future. Now, according to documents seen by Bloomberg, the new service is codenamed Spartacus and will combine the current PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now services, phasing out the branding of the latter. It's expected to launch for PS4 and PS5 this spring, and to be structured across 3 payment tiers. The first will reportedly include existing PlayStation Plus benefits, such as online play and free monthly titles. The second will offer a large catalog of games like Xbox Game Pass, although not first-party titles at launch. The third will add extended demos, game streaming, and a library of classic PlayStation games. Now, I actually think rolling PlayStation Now into PlayStation Plus is the right move. Nobody cares about PlayStation Now. It's a service that's been around a long time and nobody really wanted to use it. So it's best to actually roll it into a subscription service that people actually do care about. It's very similar to how Xbox rolled Xbox Live Gold, which is a relic from the past that Xbox absolutely needs to get rid of at some point in the future and just make online gaming free. But Microsoft rolled Xbox Live Gold into Xbox Game Pass because that was going to end up being their #1 subscription service for the long haul. Now, the 3 tiers is interesting. The first one being probably the basic PlayStation Plus tier we already have. If you subscribe to it, you get multiplayer access and free monthly titles. The second tier is going to basically be the PlayStation Now version, where you have, who knows, 400 games into a service. And then the third tier, the highest paid tier, are going to have extended game demos, which I think is a good idea, even though it's monetized. Very similar to how Xbox does it with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, the highest tier that you could subscribe to, which offers game streaming and a library of classic PlayStation games. I don't really know how I feel about the idea of locking backwards compatibility behind a subscription paywall, but I'll wait for final judgment until I actually see the service announced and the details and everything that's behind it. But the sticking point for a lot of people is that at least Bloomberg is saying that first-party titles will not be launching for the service, at least at launch right away. But Phil Spencer thinks at some point it's an inevitability that they will be launching day one in the service, and that's something I have been saying for quite some time now. So head of Xbox Phil Spencer has reacted to rumors that PlayStation is working on a service similar to Xbox Game Pass, saying that he sees it as an inevitability and is the right answer for how to get games to players. Speaking to IGN's Ryan McCaffrey, Spencer addressed the recent rumors, which have pointed to a new service codenamed Spartacus set to replace the existing PlayStation Plus service. Quote, "As you know, so many of these things actually intertwine with themselves, from backwards compatibility in terms of a way of building out a library of games that we have shipping on PC and console simultaneously, knowing that Game Pass is going to come, and we want to bring Game Pass to multiple platforms. All of these decisions kind of stack on top of themselves." I don't mean it to sound like we've got it all figured out, but I think the right answer is allowing your customers to play the games they want to play, where they want to play them, and giving them choice about how they build their library and being transparent with them about what our plans are in terms of our PC initiatives and our cross-gen initiatives and other things. So when I hear others doing things like Game Pass or coming to PC, it makes sense to me because I think that's the right answer. Spencer continued by saying that he doesn't see Sony's apparent willingness to emulate Xbox's bold approach as proof he and his team were right to push for Xbox Game Pass early. More that it's proof that things were always going to go this way in the industry. Quote, "I don't really look at it as validation. I actually, when I talk to our teams, I talk about it as an inevitability. So for us, we should continue to innovate, continue to compete, because the things that we're doing might be advantages that we have in the market today, but they're just based on us going first, not that we've created something that no one else can go create. I like it because it feeds our energy on what are the next things that we should be working on as we continue to build out the things that we've done in the past. Because I think the right answer is to ship great games, ship them on PC, ship them on console, ship them on cloud, make them available day one in the subscription, and I expect that's what our competitor will do." I think reading this interview from Phil Spencer really puts a couple things in perspective. Is that one, he totally expected PlayStation to eventually copy Game Pass and Xbox's strategy at some point down the road, and two, just because Xbox Game Pass was done first doesn't mean it's going to be the most successful subscription service out there. He basically said all of this was inevitable. At some point, Sony was going to do this because subscriptions are just the way people sort of consume media content or any form of content these days. Whether you look at Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, it just seemed like subscriptions would start to play a larger and larger role in the video game industry. And then you have the whole thing about PlayStation following in the footsteps of Xbox. Xbox back in 2016 basically started the move to put everything on PC day one, and you can see Sony start to follow in those footsteps. They're not there right now putting their big games day one on PC like Horizon Forbidden West or God of War Ragnarok, but they're at the point where you can expect all of their exclusives to come to PC. And Phil even mentioned how customers expect you to be transparent with your plans are regarding PC. Everybody knows how Xbox has been transparent with their PC initiatives. Hell, everybody knows how transparent Xbox was with their cross-gen plans, even though you had articles and people out there saying that Xbox is robbing me of my next-gen thrill. Xbox has always been upfront and transparent with a lot of their plans, even if they weren't the most popular, and I think that's something that Sony needs to be aware of, because sometimes it does seem like they're expecting people to double dip. Yeah, we know these games are going to come to PC, but we're not going to tell you when. It won't be day one, and maybe to be a year later. I think it would be better if Sony just said, yeah, these games will come to PC eventually, and let people make the decision for themselves if they want to play it on their PlayStation 5 or if they want to wait to play it on their PC. And then there's the sticking point between this rumored Spartacus Xbox Game Pass competitor with PlayStation and Game Pass itself, and that is day one titles on the service. Right now, Bloomberg's saying that isn't going to happen, and because of that, people are saying, well, it's not a Game Pass competitor. But Jason Schreier himself has said that Sony internally views it as a Game Pass competitor. And clearly, Phil Spencer is talking about it here as competition. He literally ends the interview by saying that the right answer is to ship great games, ship them on PC, ship them on console, ship them on cloud, and make them available day one of the subscription. And that's what he expects the competition to do. And who's the competition he's referring to here? Well, that's PlayStation's Spartacus Xbox Game Pass service. And even though they won't have day one games right away, at some point they will. And then it's going to come down to head-to-head. Game Pass versus Spartacus. And just because Game Pass was first doesn't mean it will be the one that leads forever. And because of that, like Phil Spencer said, Xbox is going to have to continue to innovate and continue to compete, because who knows how the subscription war is going to pan out. All I can say is that I think the people who are going to benefit from this is us, the gamers. We're going to have two competing subscription services that are going to be vying for our time, our attention, and our money, and we're going to reap the rewards. It's going to be great. Anyways, guys, that's the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and as always, if you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Share this out on social media. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you, guys. Later.